Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be recapping the month of January, which I have to say, January did not go the best. Mainly, I feel like the biggest issue was that, well, it kind of didn't go great in any, like it went great in some ways, but like all in all, it just wasn't a great month just in general. But of course, I'm here to talk about finances, and it didn't go so great financially. I do have to say that every month we have it scheduled to where we do our additional investing, which is $2,000 per month. And that money comes out at the beginning of the month purposefully. We want it to come first. So it's kind of like, you know, honoring ourselves first by paying ourselves and investing into our future, our retirement, and our early retirement. So all of that to say, anytime I think about how maybe a month didn't go so well financially, I think about the fact that at bare minimum, we paid money to ourselves and honored ourselves in that way. And $2,000 is a lot of money, obviously. And, you know, sure, maybe January didn't go that great, but we're still on track for an early retirement, which is one of our major goals. So future Shay, future Mr. Budgets will thank current Shay and current Mr. Budgets. So that's something that I think about even when the month isn't going so great, or when I recap the month, or, you know, kind of sit down to recap the month and I'm thinking about the things that didn't go so well. So we did overspend. I have to tell you that first, but I also have to say that if you remember, I was supposed to get a full paycheck in the month of January from my job because I started on January 10th. However, I did not get any payday in January from my job. And so that means that our income took a real hit. And it also means that, I don't know, we kind of had this plan for our money for the month. And then I found out around the end of the month that I actually wasn't getting a paycheck. And so that kind of really messed up some stuff. So all of that to say, do know that we did do some good work, but also our income was thousands of dollars less because I did not get any pay from my job, and our plan kind of went south because of that. But anyway, today we're going to recap the month of January. I have a new mug that I got. We went thrifting today, which I think is going to be a thing for us. I love like vintage, or like, I don't want to say vintage because I don't really like vintage things, but I like stuff that, I like thrifting. And so, I don't know, I just really like it. Not really, I don't like thrifting because I don't really like shopping, but I like the thought of getting items that are more vintagey, if that makes any sense. So all of that to say, we are currently building our capsule wardrobes, trying to look nice out here in these streets. You know, we have new jobs in education, technically, and so we are trying to play the part. So if I look a little nicer today than what I normally look, or if I've been looking nicer, that's because we have been building capsule wardrobes. I didn't get anything today when we were out goodwilling and thrifting outside of this cup, which is so cute. It says faith over fear, which I'm not, that's not the message. I don't like that message necessarily, because I feel like sometimes when we say things like that, like let's say to not worry, or to not be fearful, or to not be afraid, or to do those types of things, we are really negating our experiences as humans. And as humans, we are fearful of things. That's real. And we do worry. And I think we should acknowledge that and accept that and be okay with that, that we might be triggered to, we might be fearful of things and worried about things. And that's perfectly fine. So I don't really like messages that take the humanness out of us as humans. So I don't love this messaging, but the cup, she's cute. She matches my nails. You can't really see my nails because the lighting is doing some crazy stuff, but I really like the cup. It's aesthetic, and I like the font. I like the texture. It's like stoneware. It's deep. I have Chardonnay in this, by the way. I don't have, sometimes I come on here with the tea. I might even come on here with water or coffee or some kind of other drink, but today I'm drinking Chardonnay out of my coffee mug. So anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and hop on the iPad because I budgeted in January on the iPad. So wherever I start, I like to stop just in life in general, but especially when I'm doing these videos, just so they make sense. So let's go ahead now and hop on the iPad and recap the month of January. We'll talk about goals we did or didn't achieve, financial to-dos, and intentions that we did or didn't do. And then also we will talk about where our money actually went. I already filmed February's budget video. I do those monthly budget videos before the month gets here, and then the recaps tend to happen afterwards. So do check that out if you're interested in seeing our budget for the month of February. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. Okay, so we are on my iPad. This is the Dash Planner, and the app that I'm using is GoodNotes. I have been forgetting to kind of mention those things because I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's what's happening right now. The app is GoodNotes, which I think I paid $30 for it to just have it and to hold it for a lifetime. And then the planner, the Dash Planner that I got off of Etsy was, I think, like $20. And I really bought it for work, but I've kind of been using it for my whole life. So anyway, January 22 finances. This budget template comes in the planner. Like if you go to, you see how you have calendar, overview, finances. So each month you can kind of, go to each month and then it'll have these same sections at the top. So this was already, a thing that came with the planner. So it's actually not a landscape mode planner. I bought the portrait one, but you can use it however you want. But of course, if you want landscape, if you prefer landscape, then definitely buy the landscape planner. But just wanted to mention that I did buy the portrait one, but I don't want to turn my iPad because I like this better. Okay, so let's get into it. Full-time jobs. We thought we were bringing in 4922. We did not bring in 4922 whatsoever. Let's get my tip right. That is not my tip. Is that my tip? That's a better use of a tip. Instead of bringing in $4,922 or almost $5,000 from our full-time jobs, we actually brought in, I did get a final payday from my previous employer in January, so I am happy that that took place. But yeah, I still was anticipating getting another payday from my new job because that's what they told me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been worried about that. So in total, what we actually brought in from our full-time jobs, which I'm doing the math over here, is 3,000. Ooh, a little rusty. 3,000. Ooh, real rusty. 3,000. I don't think that's the right tip, but we're gonna do it. For what is happening? $3,419.28. So we were in the red. So from the business, we actually paid ourselves that actual amount. So it was 3,578. So we do the business payment at the beginning of the month, and we already know how much it's going to be before we actually do it, if that makes any sense. So, well, I know that makes sense because that wasn't something that shouldn't make sense. So we already knew like exactly what that would be. And we actually got some miscellaneous money. Where do we get money from? I don't know where we got money from. So we got some miscellaneous funds, which is kind of interesting because we typically don't. So we got $201.30. And that gives us a grand total of, I'm gonna do the math. We're gonna do the math together. That's why I'm in portrait mode or landscape mode, so we can do some stuff together. That gives us a total of $3,419.28 plus 3,578 plus 20130 is $7,198.58, which means that we had a deficit. You can just subtract the 8,500. I know that's basic math. I'm just saying that was our deficit. So we had a deficit of $1,300. And I was actually budgeting on the lower side for my paycheck for January. And so like in theory, we probably would have gotten more. I just wanted to be safe in budgeting less. So in theory, we potentially could have brought in more than 8,500 had I gotten that paycheck, but I didn't. So anyway, a deficit of $1,300, which is, kind of a lot. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through and talk about these utilities and bills and all that kind of stuff. So our mortgage was, I kind of want to copy that and paste it, but I think it's going to be easier if I actually just write in the amount. So let's just do that. So our mortgage came in at its typical amount, which is $1,599. Our security came in at $51.47. Our pest control was $46. Our electricity was $98. I love that when I take my time, I can write better, but since yeah, you know, it's just, we're just gonna have to work with it because this is looking kind of crazy, but it's fine. Cable, $35. Internet was, remember the internet was about to go up. It was gonna go up to like 80 something. I called and I was like, no ma'am, that ain't it. And so now it's gonna be it's gonna be $59.80. But in the month of January, we still had to pay the regular amount. It was going to go up in February before I intervened. Water, sewer was $36.60, and our phone, $90. Phone's $90, which we might be switching because at one of my facilities at my new job, I don't have service, and I kind of spend a lot of time there. And I'm not saying I need my phone because I'm working, but it's kind of weird not having any cell phone service, and it's like, I don't know why there's not any service, because it's not like in the middle of nowhere. And like if you go to the front of the building, you'll have full bars of service. I guess the towers, and I don't know how that works, but something's got to be being blocked. So we may be switching. So anywho, let's go ahead and not add up that because it was the exact amount. So we can just use that number, $1,928.86. Now let's go down to transportation. Of course, we'll talk about that. We do budget for that, but not here. We don't, but we do have a budget for food, but not here. Our life insurance was as expected. That will never change unless we change our policy. And our doggies wellness plan was as expected as well. That gives us a total of $127.12. I do love budgeting on this iPad and whatnot because I feel like for whatever reason, this is more interactive. I don't know. It's just a thing. Okay, for shopping, out of control. We started randomly building capsule wardrobes in the month of January. My husband, honestly, so I was building mine because at my previous job, it was very casual. Like I could wear jeans every day. Honestly, I even sometimes could wear like kind of like sweatpants, sort of kind of sneakers, and like it was very casual. And then it didn't really dawn on me until I was about to start this job that I didn't really have a lot of options. So I took that as an opportunity to build a capsule wardrobe. I have a video on that coming soon. But in the meantime, thus we did a lot of overspending. So yeah, we were over a lot. Well, I mean, yeah, we're over a lot. That's a lot of money, $500. We're over. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be worse than that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Okay, Amazon Music, $3.99. Netflix, $13.99. And our Netflix will not be going up because we went down to the basic package. And then our Apple game that my husband plays each month is going to be $4.99. Was $4.99. So let's go ahead and tally. Let's go ahead and tally up those numbers. If I knew how to work this well, I could split my screen and bring up my calculator. Should we try it? Look, we're fancy. Oh my God. Okay, let's add up. Can we? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is, let me do this because I'm getting out of control. 202293 plus $3.99. This is, I'm being so chaotic right now. $13.99. In my defense, I'm not in the greatest headspace because there's a lot going on at work, and I've been talking about it on Instagram, but I'm not at my normal level of functioning. So I just want to be clear that I'm probably frazzled or appear frazzled and out of control because I'm not like feeling, I'm not at my baseline. I'm normally like on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being really sad, 10 being really happy, just using those two terms, happy and sad as just like basic terms. I'm normally at like a 7. That's my baseline. That's kind of where I live. And then there are things that kind of take me over 7 and take me below 7, and I'm currently below 7. So I'm not at my baseline, which is probably why I'm chaotic. But do we not love, y'all? Do we not love? Do we not stand? I think we stand. Okay, let's keep going. Retirement. Your girl and your boy did contribute $2,000. Okay, so that's gonna be that's gonna be a problem. Okay, we did $2,000 at the beginning of the month. $1,000 went to our joint brokerage account. $500 went to my Roth IRA. $500 went to my husband's Roth IRA. We are on track to max out our Roth IRAs for the year and contribute over $12,000 to our joint brokerage account. And if you don't know what a joint brokerage account is, well, it's a joint account because it's both of our names are on the account. Both of our names are on anything, and we prefer it that way. Obviously, we have joint finances, but also it just works better for us. So long story short, it's really just money that we're saving, and we can access that money at any time. So if we wanted to take all of the money out of there right now, we certainly could. But in having it and investing, or that's what it is, it's investing and putting money in towards our joint brokerage account, or funding our joint brokerage account, whatever terminology you want to use. We are that's the money, some of the money that we'll use whenever we retire, whether we retire early or not. The plan is to retire early, but either way. So I just want you to know that it's basically like saving money, and the money is being invested though and growing in our case, instead of just kind of sitting there. And because if you put $1,000 cash in your under your bed, as an example, in 10 years it's still going to be $1,000 cash. If you put $1,000 in the stock market, in 10 years it actually might be more than, it's very likely going to be. I don't want to use factual terminology, as you shouldn't when talking about investing, but studies indicate, and over the years, typically the money has grown significantly by a huge percent. So anyway, that's that on that. For taxes, because we had this extra income that we didn't actually have, I was going to just save it and then put that towards taxes, but we didn't have any extra income, so thus we did not save any extra money towards taxes. I'm texting my husband because I film by his man cave and I can hear some music and stuff. I wonder if you can hear it. Anyway, if you can, hopefully it's about to go away. All he has to do is close his door or pull it closed. Anywho, nothing here, so 0, a whopping 0. And then sinking funds, we were going to allocate $1,355 to sinking funds, and understand that in allocating, like, we might actually put money in for any given month and we might actually take it out. So it's kind of like a cash envelope / sinking fund. They're kind of grouped together. So let's say we were going to put $200 towards clothing in January. Well, if we spent all of the $200, like if we put it in there and we just spend it all, then we're like, it kind of defeats the purpose. But we're trying to build up our sinking funds. So we actually we did allocate some money for sinking funds. And what we did end up doing is, I think it's a huge number. Let's see, whatever it is, actually, yeah, it was about, it was about the actual amount. So $1,389.64. Okay, let's add up that. So we have 2,000. So technically then that's not a savings. Like, it could potentially be a savings, but it also could not be a savings. So technically it's not a savings necessarily. Like, it is, but it isn't. So for purposes of this, let's just add it up. 2,000 plus 1,389.64. 1,389.64 is a lot. Wow. So that never mind. I'll explain it. Why did I do that math? Anyway, I'll explain more about sinking funds in a minute. Because we're gonna stuff our sinking funds in this video. So for our car payment, we paid $314.34 to Toyota, and then $200 to Ashley. We have furniture that's financed that we are paying off before we have to pay any interest. And the minimum payment is like, I don't know, like $30 or something. So we just pay more so that we pay it off before we have to pay interest on it. So And then Georgia educators. My husband is a Georgia educator, and so he has like all these insurance things and such and so forth, and he pays for that. It should really come out of his check, so we need to make that happen because it's just annoying to have that coming as a bill. So we need to figure all that out for sure. So our actual income, you guys, was, oh, I was gonna say we can copy it. We actually can, but if we copied it, it would copy that highlight, and that's annoying. So our income, our actual, was 7,000. I'm trying to, this has to be distracting. Let's just, okay, that's better. I wish that would go away. Never mind. Okay, $7,198.58. All right, ugh. Go back, friend. Please go back. We're gonna work this out. Okay, you've got to go. How do you go? Oh, okay, so let's do that again. 719,858. Seven, 1, 9, 8, 8, 5, 8, and then our expenses were, now I need my calculator back. We're just going to do this calculator. Let's go ahead and add up the expenses. The expenses were 192,886 plus 127,12 plus 204590 plus 338964 plus 51434 plus 50. Our expenses were out of pocket. That's what our expenses were, out of control. Our expenses were $8,056.69. And then if you subtract 7,198,58, then we get 858.11, and that is actually how much we were technically over budget. So in explaining why that's a real thing, this is a real thing because of how this could be possible. Like, how can you bring in 7,000 and spend 8,000? Well, one way you can do that is to spend money that you don't actually have, like spend money from a credit card. You could also take money from your savings account, and if you have a savings account, obviously, and pay yourself from your savings account and spend more that way. Or in our case, we have a buffer in our checking account, and normally it's a couple $1,000s. Sometimes it gets lower, and the reason why it gets low, the reason why it even exists is because if ever we do have like a slight emergency maybe, or if we have some kind of month like this month where maybe somebody doesn't get a paycheck or anything like that, it serves as a way to, is really supposed, we like for it to be enough to cover our monthly expenses, like our major stuff, like our bills and utilities and food and those important expenses. So that's why we like it to be like $3,000 or so dollars. Again, sometimes it's less, and the reason why it typically goes lower than 3,000 is because when we have times like these, then we can have money to kind of fall back on. And so therefore our buffer was never a part of our income because it kind of just sits in our account. And so anytime we go over budget in our case, which I like having it, for that reason, but anytime we go over budget, then we can just spend money from the buffer, and then we have to build it back up. The reason why I like having it is because my husband and I are kind of chaotic in the way that we work, so sometimes in the way that we spend too. So if I want to switch jobs, then it's not that big of a deal. If my husband wants to switch jobs, it's not that big of a deal. We normally have additional money, and we have know how to budget and manage our finances, and so I don't want to say we don't have attachments to jobs. Y'all know I did over 6 years at my previous job, but we, we're just kind of chaotic in that way. And so that's just, a benefit of this, and it's just very helpful. So if you have just like you know, people who ask for money or just things that kind of pop up and stuff like that, then obviously having some kind of buffer might be helpful for you. Don't necessarily need a buffer, but it could potentially be helpful if you don't want to touch your savings account or your emergency fund or your sinking funds, you know, necessarily, and you want to just kind of have some extra money, if you will, in your account. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was that on that. Now back up here to shopping. Shopping includes groceries, food for us and our dog, treats, and like all her needs essentially. Although we do have a sinking fund for her, but we're only just now contributing to it, so it doesn't have that much money in it. Sometimes toiletries, basically food takes up most of the budget. Like groceries I feel like we spend the most on groceries, then like eating out, date nights. Those date nights come out of here. The money that we spend, literally, I can't even think of it. Gas for our cars, everything comes from the shopping category. And we're doing that while we're building up the sinking fund. So it's purposeful and intentional. So anywho, this is our budget, you guys. This is what it was. We were over budget. Don't love that for us, but I love that we were able to contribute to retirement, and we also were able to contribute to sinking funds as well. Not that much, but we're about to talk about it. So if you switch here, you have our tracker. So I tracked all of our expenses, and then if you come here, this is a monthly spread, which is very small in landscape mode, but we're just gonna go through this now and just kind of recap it. So let's do that. So we have our January goals and tasks here. So let's talk about those. We invested $2,000. Love that for us. We did not save $1,000. Remember, that would have been technically what I also could have done is just deducted the $1,000 that we were going to save for taxes from the money that we paid that we were going to pay ourselves from the business. So we could have paid ourselves, I think, $2,578 instead of $3,578. But I had already created the budget when I realized, oh, like after funding our life, we actually have like after, because we normally try to pay ourselves from the business about the same amount each month typically. And then I was like, oh, we actually have extra that we'll have. So I'm like, we'll just send it back to our, take it out of one account. After we paid ourselves, we could just send it back to the same account, which is the business account. But yeah, we didn't do that anyway, so there's no point of talking about it because we didn't meet that goal. Okay, sinking funds, we did not. So technically we did, but technically we didn't. So we're gonna check it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about sinking funds. And then I wanted to do our tax prep, but you know what? I think tax companies have to send out documents by January 31st. So that was kind of unrealistic because, well, I have been prepping. Actually, I've been prepping really well. I have compiled all of our documents. Yeah, I've been prepping. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I have been prepping and I have listed out all of the W-2 or forms that we're intending to get from different companies, and I'm just waiting for everything to come in. So I guess what I'm saying is filing our taxes would have been unrealistic because we're still getting documents in February. So those were our major goals. I wanted to purchase my friend a birthday gift, which I did. Also took her out to eat because she came to visit, and something else, but I made her this cute basket. It was like a housewarming basket. It was super cute and fitting for where she is in her life. We did pay our HOA fees, which were $200 due every January. And I did not really make a plan for our Roth IRAs. So technically, we have until tax time, which I think is April 17th this year, to contribute to or max out our 2021 Roth IRA. So even though we're still in 2022, we still can contribute up until tax time of 2022. We can contribute to our 2021 Roth IRAs. So we haven't really made a plan for how we're going to do that. I think we each both have to contribute another $500 or $1,000 to max out our 2021 Roth IRAs. So I haven't really made a plan for how we're going to do that. The plan would include, which are we going to put, would we have put plan to put an extra $300 to our Roths in February, or in $300 more in March, or that kind of thing. You have to plan for that. So I haven't planned for that. So we haven't done that. And then we did not resume dog training at all. And that's been a task for 5 months or something. So we did not do those things. But I have all of our bills here. I checked them off as they were paid, and then I had what our paydays were gonna be. I did get one payday from my previous job, and then yeah, we paid all of our bills. So that was that on that. Okay, so that's how January went, you guys. Okay, so last but not least, for sinking funds. So we did actually save about $100 for sinking funds. The reason why we even saved $100 was because I was like, okay, I'm determined to save at least something, like to actually transfer to our sinking funds account, at least something. So I made $100 transfer, and so I'm about to go into the app and we can kind of figure out where we're gonna put that $100. Okay, so I had it pulled up on my iPad, which would have been a way better experience because you could see it better, because these words are probably tiny, but it was showing too much information. I don't know what the problem was. I guess because the screen is so big, then the app was deciding to flex and just share all of our information, because it had like it had like all of our personal information pulled up. So sorry about that, but we're gonna go ahead and distribute. So I transferred $100 from our main checking account to our Ally account, and then what I just did is I transferred it from our Ally checking to our savings, because I accidentally put it in our checking instead of our savings, which is fine because the transfer is instantly. So now we have $100.60 in our core savings. So we have essentially the 100 that I transferred over, that's blurry, don't love that, and then 60 cents in interest that we got in the month of January. Okay, so I want to put in our anniversary $50. I want to put 30 in pets to put her at $100. So like if we do her training and we finally resume it, we'll have all of the money in her little savings account. And then I think what I'll do, I'm kind of thinking, since we're building a capsule wardrobe, that maybe I should contribute to clothing and beauty. But then I also have 2 birthdays, so I could put extra money in here for February. But then I also like the idea of putting money in vacations. We are literally only distributing $100, so it's not like I can do a whole bunch of things, but I think that's what I want to do. So let's distribute to multiple buckets, and we are going, this is like the amounts that are in there now, and so we need to distribute accordingly. So instead of $22.25, I'm going to do, I guess, $72.25. Okay, that gives us $50.60 to distribute. And then let's just put this at 100. I don't know, that's tickling my fancy. And then we'll give Lady what's left, which is $95.60. That's not tickling my fancy though. I don't really like $95.60. I kind of want to switch up all of these. Oh, we got $100 in entertainment. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to do is, I kind of want to not touch this. I kind of want to just keep putting in whatever I can put in each month, even if it's like $100 or $200 or $300, or, you know, even if it's not like thousands, or, you know what I'm saying. I just want to keep contributing what I can, because eventually in 5-10 years, or, you know, somewhere far down the line, these accounts should be really beefed up, and we might have 5,000 in medical, which would be perfect, because if we had any, you know, emergency room visits or anything medical, we could cover it with our account. Or if we had like a huge trip, we might have $3,000 in vacations one day, or we might have $10,000 in transportation and tags, therefore having a down payment on a car, or the ability to buy a whole car in cash. Get what I'm saying? So you just gotta do what you can. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save, and I don't know if this is gonna take me to like a main screen or take me to some personal information, so let's see. Okay, we're back at 1. Okay, as you can see, nothing in core savings, and I've distributed the money accordingly. So also I can set where the interest gets paid, and I just have it for the core savings. So if I wanted it to be the interest, well, add in all interest paid to your core savings. Okay, so I could also have interest going into different buckets if I wanted to, but at 60 cents and 30 cents and stuff like that, obviously, you know, I might as well just put it all in one place. So here are my Ally buckets, and I think that is gonna be it for, you know, kind of how I wrap up the month. I didn't really share a lot of like mishaps and moves and stuff this month, but I shared the major ones, which really kind of shaped how our finances would play out in January anyway. Okay, you guys, so that is it for today's video. Let me know if you like this lighting. I'm sitting in front of the window, and that's just the vibe that I'm on, and the vibe that I've been on lately is just inviting you guys into, you know, my life when I'm doing these videos in like a natural state, kind of like in the state that I'm already in. And I don't use a ring light for any reason, so I'm not using a ring light for this video. So let me know if you like that. I kind of like how it makes it kind of ambient, if you will. So yeah, just let me know if this is okay. So yeah, just let me know if you can see me. I think I'm being seen well, but I'm not really too sure, and I won't know until I'm editing this video. But yeah, let me know if you like this style of video, these videos that I've been doing lately. And let me know if you like this video by giving it a like, subscribe if you are new or if you are interested or haven't already. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.